yes? And I guess my question is, I know they meet everything, they didn't have to cover it up, but, you know, with that culvert over there, as much water that flows through the culvert, is there a potential in a 100-year storm for their parking lot to flood out? Is that what's intended to happen?
No, the 100-year flood boundaries are contained within that swale.
So they will be contained within that swale? Okay, thank you.
Alderman Knight.
Yeah, just to answer the question about the mountable right-in, right-out pork chop, that is mountable for trucks only. It's not for cars and smaller vehicles and vans and that type of thing.
Alderman Winger.
Thank you. I still do want an answer to the question of what's prohibiting the left in if you're going west on Irving, and I do understand now that it's not something that Napa is requesting. It's something from probably our end. Mr. Holm, are you able to answer that part? Thank you.
If I recall from the initial presentations, their driveway is going to be on the south side of Irving Park Road, and it's going to fall in the taper so if you're heading eastbound on Irving Park, you're approaching Addison Road. If you want to make a left-hand turn there and go north into the Jewel Target Center, there's that taper, that turn lane taper. So as you ease over into the turn lane, their driveway on the south side of Irving Park Road is going to fall in that taper.
Mm-hmm.
So there won't be a full width for westbound people coming who want to make a left-hand turn. Now, according to the drawings, that there is room enough there so that probably as a normal driver, you're going to get over into the painted median right there and get yourself out of traffic in order to make a left-hand turn.
Mm-hmm.
So in practicality, you could get out of traffic to make a left-hand turn, but from a technical standpoint, they can't, it won't qualify as a left-hand turn, protected left-hand turn, because there's technically not room for a full-width left-hand turn lane right there.
Does there need to be, since there's 2 lanes though going west, does there need to be a turn off, a third lane?
I think the objective of going to the right-in, right-out with the pork chop was to avoid this similar situation, which is on the east side of Addison Road by the Burger King and the gas station that everyone talks about, where you do have left-hand turners who ignore the signs and they sit in the left-hand lane waiting to make a turn.
Mm-hmm.
And that area might be a little bit more severe because there isn't that painted median there. They can't quite get out of the lane of traffic like they will be able to for Napa.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that was what we were trying to avoid, was to avoid that situation altogether and just say no left turns.
So is there anything that we can do with the road to fix that? Because here's my thing, that if the delivery trucks, the Napa trucks, which will be coming in and out quite a bit, and when they make their delivery, and if they have to go eastbound, and they'll probably have to do that 50% of the time, I'm guessing, that when they come back, how do they plan on getting back in? Okay.
The exhibit that they showed the truck coming from the west. So the truck was traveling eastbound when it entered the site, and then it has to exit, continuing eastbound.
And I'm okay with the delivery truck, but
Okay.
but the mini pickups that they have for their day-to-day business.
Right in, right out. So they got to come from the west and heading eastbound and turn into the site and then head out, going eastbound. Yeah.
Let me remind everybody at this point that this is not approval of the project tonight. This is a direction to the city attorney to draft an ordinance. So I assume that in 2 weeks from now, we're going to have all this intensive discussion again, but you are not approving the project tonight. Alderman Subak.
Thank you, Mayor, but we should still flush it out because everybody's here and they have questions. One of the conditions is that larger truck, it's just going to be once a day for the 50-foot or less truck. To answer Alderman Wesley's comment, I wasn't on the council when the mobile got approved, and I don't know if the council back then would put special conditions on special use permits, and it's just, we're taking advantage of the opportunity to do it tonight, and the petitioners have agreed to that. And to answer Alderman Schuckey and both you guys, I agree, in a perfect world, this doesn't go there, but I guess I'm concerned is if we don't approve this, an example I'll give you is if a Starbucks wants to go in there, and the Starbucks wouldn't have to do the right in, right out. They could just do a curb cut on Irving Park Road. Therefore, cars heading westbound on Irving Park Road could try to turn left across 3 lanes of traffic to get in there to buy the cup of coffee. Starbucks could have trucks going in and out of there 30 times a day, any time of the day if they wanted to, also turning left across those lanes of traffic in order to make their deliveries. And everybody would come up and say, why'd you let a bank go at the corner? And we say, we didn't have any control of it. And then they'd say, why'd you have a Starbucks go right there when it's such a bad you made it a worse traffic condition? So the biggest positive about this is we can put all those conditions on them. And I don't think we can put in our code, and I think the attorney will agree, we can't say it's 1 strike and out or 2 strikes and out. It's still a due process. We get to actually sit, I won't be on there, but you'll be able to sit as a judge at that point and say, did they violate the original intent of the covenant? And if we make a finding that it was, they're done. They can go to a judge then and appeal that decision. But if the judge sees that our rationale at that point was reasonable, they're going to uphold it. So you actually, in the future, if there's a violation, we get to sit as judge and jury and make that determination. So it can't be a hard, fast rule that 3 strikes are out, or if it's 4:55, it's got to take a look at the circumstances at that time. But at least we have that control. With the Starbucks example, we have 0 control.
City Council actually did put restrictions on the mobile gas station as part of their special use. You may recall that you can't do a left turn in there from eastbound Irving. Can't turn left during rush hour, morning or evening. And that was part of the conditional use approval. Alderman Shockey?
Whatever happened to Starbucks going in by Target, number 1, but let's forget about that now. You threw me off now. Oh, I know what it was. Going along with what Alderman Wesley was talking about and how do we enforce it and so forth, let me just remind you, we let OSCO build a large warehouse with wings on it that were supposed to disguise the back of it, and the trucks were supposed to park in the back of those wings. And the only time they do that is if we have somebody go over there and tell them, you have to do that, and they'll do it for about a week, and then they're back doing it the other way again. And we've never fined them, we've never done a thing to them, and we wouldn't do anything here, I don't believe, either. So I try and think about what the history is of what we've done before, and it's a difficult thing.
Alderman Coles?
I got one thing to say, and if we want to do that, then we'll have to stop every truck that goes on Irving Park, especially going into gas stations, because they do go across Irving Park and back in. And I was there getting my car washed when I saw that truck go across 4 lanes on Irving Park at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and block Irving Park. So it's being done elsewhere. If you want to sit there on a Friday and you'll see it.
Can I just make one comment?
Just make sure I'm done with the City Council. All right, yes, sir.
Yeah, with regard to the traffic, I think there are 2 things you have to keep in mind. One, Alderman Sudak has already mentioned several times. Napa is not a terribly intense use when it comes to traffic, in terms of either its deliveries or its customer base. They sell fairly high-ticket items. You have people, users coming in, possibly with pickup trucks and certainly vans. But given that this is the era of the SUV, that's probably not too much more of an intense use than most retail operations. Number 2, Napa is a big, profitable organization. They are certainly not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize their business operation. They're making an investment of close to $1.5 million here. And number 3, there is, as I said, as Alderman Sudak pointed out, there were probably 20 uses, permitted uses in this district that are far more intense and would create far greater traffic difficulties that would never give up their full access on Irving Park Road. And I think we're presenting the opportunity to give you a quality project where you can exercise these controls and basically minimize the impact that this development is going to have on the community, on the immediate area, and generate substantial revenues for the city. And I think all those things have to be taken into consideration. I find it, frankly, somewhat ironic that you're looking at uses that could create utter chaos here, and we're kind of throwing ourselves in the mercy of the court because we think it's the right thing to do because it's an appropriate use for this site, but we certainly don't want to be crucified because of it. But so thank you.
Mr. Mayor, one other question.
Alderman Subak.
I know we don't allow for repairs outside in the B2 district, but I asked the city attorney, can we add as part of the special use condition that no outside repairs are done in the parking lot, which is a problem at the other, I think it's AutoZone. And can we tie that to the special use so that if it happens, we can make the owner responsible if I'm out there changing my antifreeze in the parking lot?
Actually, let me go to Mr. Forrest on that one. Do we already have an ordinance that covers that? Because that is a problem over at AutoZone.
But Mr. Mayor, I think
Let me just,
AutoZone,
just
we-
for my
go
own
ahead.
information, and then I'll get to Mr. Bond.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I do believe that there is an ordinance that prohibits working on vehicles outside in the B2 zoning district.
but who do you cite with that ticket? You cite the person who's doing the work, right?
Correct.
I want to tie it to their special use so that then the manager of the store runs out there and says to the person, you can't do that here, and then they could jeopardize their special use
I
permit.
think it gives you an extra layer of teeth if you put it in a special use ordinance, and we wouldn't object to it.
Mr. Bond?
And as a matter of legal precedent, you could do that, yes.
So I'd ask the motioner to amend the motion to add one more additional condition that there'll be no outside automobile repair or truck
Alderman
repair.
Knight, do you agree?
Yes, I do.
Who seconded?
One more question.
I think I second that, I
Alderman Sharkey,
agree.
second? Alderman Subic, do you agree?
I do.
Alderman Coles?
You people don't, there's two different kind of auto parts stores. There's the kind like AutoZone, and there's kind like Napa and CarQuest. They're different types of auto parts. The auto parts that Napa sells are high-end stuff. The stuff that auto repair garages sell, and they don't usually sell them to these people that repair their own cars. They usually sell them to technicians. There's a difference between them auto parts stores, and you're classifying them. You're trying to classify all auto parts the same. They are not, and that's all I gotta say.
Alderman Winger?
Mr. Mayor, can you clarify the procedure again, that you explained that this is the part where we're requesting the draft of the ordinance and then it will come back again? Is that what you're explaining?
This will be a simple majority vote, and it should come back in 2 weeks, assuming the attorney has, in 2 weeks. First Thursday in March should be final approval.
Okay.
Adoption of the ordinance.
Okay, and then follow-up question with the right out, left in scenario, that I would like to see a little more discussion on it or looking at it if in fact the anyone coming from the east going west can actually make a left in there.
Actually, I believe it's only right in, right out.
Right. And to enforce the right in when you're going east on Irving, so anyone coming from the east going west has to go, I don't want to see them go down a residential street every time and make a traffic pattern. So if we can possibly make the left in going west, that'd be helpful for the area, you know, that's behind those stores.
I think that's not the intent of the pork chop. The intent of the pork chop is to deny that movement. I think the traffic safety engineer or this council decided that would be an unsafe movement. That's the intent of the restriction, that it's only right in and right out, that people going westbound cannot turn into Napa Complex. Alderman Talmy.
Yeah. I think, Alderman Winger, I think a good example of this would be where the, the Burger King is. Okay, that's a right in, right out. And now people actually go to, you know, when they're coming from the west and they want to get in there, they actually go to Maher because there's a turn lane there and they have to turn around there. But we did that for safety. And you still have people, you know, once in a while, okay, that go in illegally. And you're going to always have that. But as far as having the right in, right out at this particular, you know, at this particular location for the Napa, I think it's important because you have the lane that's starting to go into Target, okay, into their parking lot. So you've actually got 3 lanes in the westbound, and you've got 2 lanes, almost 3 lanes already, and 3.5 lanes going eastbound. So to try and have traffic cut across all that, I think I would rather see, and for the amount of business that they're going to get, I'd rather see them go down to Georgetown, go in the Georgetown Shopping Center, turn around in there, and come back out again, and then go into the, westbound, or come in or right in at that location, because it's just if the world was perfect, we'd have enough lanes there where we could do that, but we don't. And if you start talking about that, you could end up with over 7 lanes just in that one location, and that's kind of crazy. So I think it makes sense to keep it with the right in, right out. If people want to go to the store, they will go down to Georgetown. They'll find a place. They'll turn around. I don't think you're going to have traffic going into the residential. There's no residential areas right there to begin with, so I don't think you'll have that. I really believe that they will go down to the Georgetown, swing around, and come back.
Alderman Winger.
I'm prepared to vote in the affirmative for this tonight, but I still am concerned about the right in, right out, and I'll be looking at it over the next couple of weeks. Thank you.
Anything further? Simple majority. Roll call.
Alderman Coles?
Yes.
Alderman Subak?
Yes.
Alderman Knight?
Yes.
Alderman Peisig?
Yes.
Alderman Shockey?
No.
Alderman Winger?
Yes.
Alderman Wesley?
No.
Alderman Talame?
Yes.
That passes.
Okay, Mayor, that concludes my report.
That brings us to Public Works. Alderman Subak.
One item, Mr. Mayor, it's the approval of contract to purchase an aerial boom truck. What was passed out tonight was a bid we received. Received one bid from Altech Industries, the amount of $92,859. We're looking to lease this vehicle in order to allow us to use the motor fuel tax funds. And my understanding is at the end of the lease term, we actually own the vehicle. Correct? Gary, we didn't get the chance to go over this at committee, Mayor, so if I can just, do I need to keep recognizing yourself?
Alderman Subak.
Gary, how many bids did we send out for?
We sent out bid packets to 8 different companies.
And we only got one response?
We only got one response.
And in the budget, we had $24,000 per year allocated, so this actually comes in under the budget amount?
Correct.
And out of the 2 proposals, I mean, it's the same proposal, it's just the amount of payments. Would you recommend doing the 1 payment a year?
The dollar value has actually come out just very slightly less if you do 12 payments per year, and so I think we could do 12 payments per year. I guess that would be, I don't know if that's council's decision or if we just do that at the staff level to decide which.
I think just leave that at staff level, that's fine. So with that, I'd make a motion to approve the bid for the awarding of the bid for the boom truck to Altech Industries on a
5-year
lease, an amount not to exceed $92,859.
Is there a second on the question? Roll call.
Alderman Coles?
Yes.
Alderman Subak?
Yes.
Alderman Knight?
Yes.
Alderman Peisig?
Yes.
Alderman Shockey?
Yes.
Alderman Winger?
Yes.
Alderman Wesley?
No.
Alderman Talame?
Yes.
That passes.
And that ends my report.
That brings us to other business, and item 6 from the omnibus agenda, granting an exception waiver, City Wooddale Building Code. Alderman Knight.
Okay, I move to grant an exception / waiver of the City of Wooddale Building Code, Section 903.2.7, to the Wooddale Community Church / PADS, predicated on the following conditions. A, an annual inspection by city staff is required prior to the start of the PADS season each year. B, the maximum occupant load exclusive of staff shall be 30 guests. C, a minimum of 2 staff members shall be on site and awake at all times in the spaces used for sleeping purposes. D, the area of occupancy shall be limited to the lower level washroom / laundry facilities, all posted exit ways and corridors leading to the exterior of the building. E, no posted exit door shall be locked or barred from any use at any time. F, cooking shall be restricted to the type of foods that do not create grease-laden vapors and to the reheating of pre-prepared foods. G, staff is to be knowledgeable of the site and all safety requirements. H, a working telephone shall be available at all times. I, A sign-in sheet and copy of any incident report shall be maintained on-site and available for review by city staff. And J, city staff and staff of the Fire Protection District shall be allowed access to inspect the site at any time during operation of the PADS program.
Is there a second
Second.
on the question? Roll call.
Alderman Coles?
Yes.
Alderman Subak?
Yes.
Alderman Knight?
Yes.
Alderman Isaac?
Yes.
Alderman Shockey?
Yes.
Alderman Winger?
Yes.
Alderman Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Talman?
Yes.
That's approved. We do not have any items to be referred. We do not have any items for information only. May I have a motion to adjourn the city council to executive session
So
for
moved.
purpose of review of the official minutes, collective bargaining and personnel pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C21, 2C2 and 2C1. Alderman Ptolemy's motion. Is there a
So moved.
second?
Second.
Roll call.
Alderman Knight?
Yes.
Alderman Coles?
Yes.
Alderman Isaac?
Yes.
Alderman Shockey?
Yes.
Alderman Subak?
Yes.
Alderman Talman?
Yes.
Alderman Winger?
Yes.
Alderman Wesley?
Yes.
That passes.
Okay, pardon.